All right, let's do it. Episode 103. Wow. Can't believe it. Here we go. All right, let's have some fun. Come on in. Cheers. Come on in. And oop. Vinyl. It's weird. I run my sound. Some of it's in the computer. Some of it's CD. And some of it's vinyl. No tapes. What's up? I'm Cardone. This is Evening Hour live right now. Episode 103. And I got a group in here already hanging out. Eric, one of the viewers sent this to me. My brain is fried right now. McCurdy, cheers. Or Helen Metropolis sent this. I'm a little like, I get mixed up now of names. Very sorry. Whoa, what's this? While nursing my puppers after no more pupper surgery. Ah! Very cool, Bill. Cheers to the pup, who's probably feeling a little sluggish. Come on in, folks. I got a good one tonight. It's a holiday week, and it's finally cold here. So, the other day, what was it, Thursday? Thursday, I was on the beach with a t-shirt. Friday, I was on the beach with a t-shirt, and then it dropped cold enough where that's not happening. If you're new to this channel, and I know there's some new ones in here now, if you're new, look at the subscribe button, which is down here. And hit that subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000. It's so hard to do. They don't make it easy anymore. In the old days, I would have been at 1,000 a year and a half ago. What's up, Amanda? Come on in. So, if you're new, hit the subscribe. It's the least you can do. And also, look, it's a chatty show. People chat. People say things. If you want to say something, say something. If you're new, say hi. Introduce yourself. It's a very friendly group. We're really like, it's one of the most open-minded, smart, thoughtful groups ever in a chat right here. And if you notice, people are doing some sort of points thing. Well, what that is my robot, aka Zalthon, who runs my Streamlabs. He has a little game that we do where the more you chat, the more points you get. The more points you get, you can gamble them away, save them, or look below here in the description, click on it, and you will see the rules to the games and where you can spend those points. You will win free prizes. And when I say free, I really mean it. You don't have to spend a dime. No shipping, no nothing. You send the thing in, and I will send you either a mystery box or a poster. You need 700 points. Cheers. It's also cookie season, and I wasn't sure if tonight was going to be me baking live cookies. I decided not to do it because, quite frankly, I'm getting tired of making cookies. I made already 20, 30 dozen, and I'm going to make tomorrow or Wednesday another 20 or so dozen. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I give them away. If you're in Rockaway Beach proper, close, and you come to my house, I will give you some. I'm not joking. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm getting ready for the holiday weekend coming up. I've got friends. I've got family coming over. We're going to eat a lot of food and have a lot of fun. I can't wait. I usually buy some sort of Christmas tree thing and put it up. Thank you, Eric. Yeah, he got one. I usually do some sort of Christmas tree. This year I haven't got one yet. I will. I think I am. And for the first time in my life, I thought about getting a fake tree. I love the real ones, but I also like really shockingly fake trees. Joe Netherworld had a bright red one. And I looked up. I mean, I actually thought of getting one in honor of Joe's memory. I really did. And I still might. I might do that one next year. They make a rainbow Christmas tree. You can get a purple Christmas tree. You can get a blue one. I was like, I kind of want to get a weird colored Christmas tree for next year. What else? I'm a little sleepy today. I don't know why. Let me have a sip of no, I'm not going to drink any more coffee. I feel a little, maybe it's because I was out in the cold. I don't know. Before we get into the actual subjects, I wanted to chat about a few movies. As most of you know, I don't watch TV. It's going to take a lot for me to watch a new series. You know, like the Breaking Bad style, 12-episode-y things. I haven't turned my TV on. Has it been a month? It's been about a month. I only watch a movie here and there, mostly old movies. I did try to watch the new Sopranos and quickly shut it off. Garbage. Trees went up in price, as did everything. You know, I don't know if you noticed this. They're downplaying inflation right now on TV. They don't want anybody to see the real fact, what's about to happen. Wait till the mortgage crisis kicks in. Anywho, look at packaging. Look at the portions that you're getting. Look at candy bars. Look at potato chips. Everything is shrinking. Blah. Price going up, product shrinking. They don't want anybody to know. A palm tree. Those are cool. I like those. I thought about that too. But I'm getting itchy to watch a movie. What's the last movie I watched? I can't remember. It might have been Godfather. I don't remember. But anyway, I want to watch a movie. I've been getting itchy. The less TV you watch, the more exciting it is to watch a film. Really, I get really excited now. The quality definitely goes down. I only watched this year about 8 movies. And that's it. So, I think that's kind of cool. I like the new way I'm living. It's really fun, actually. Oh, skimpflation! I love it! Skimpflation. Wow, that's cool. I like that word. Well, I had an argument with a performer who was like, the hell with the landlords. You know, meaning if you're a landlord, you represent some sort of supremacy. Seriously. I was told that. I was like, okay, not all landlords have endless cash, folks, you know? I'm a landlord. It's not easy. When they told everybody to stop paying rent, I know landlords with their tenants who have money stop paying rent and just said this. Really, it's terrible, 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 terrible. Yeah, I really only watch a few movies every now and then, Amanda, and it really makes it an event. I have to prepare to watch a movie in my house. It's so funny. I basically stopped watching TV when I bought a 60-inch television. I got a new TV a year and a half ago, and I slowed down on my TV. You'd think I'd watch more. It went the other way. Your tardy friend has arrived. Oh, hey, Ruth. What's up? So as films go, there's a new movie coming out I really want to see. And we'll talk about that in a second. But as old films go, I'm getting itchy to watch one of my favorite movies of all time that most of you have never seen. I know some of you have seen it, Most of you haven't. It was a major production. It came out in 1971. It was a splashy, high-budgeted film with movie stars like Oliver Reed and Vanessa Redgrave, directed by Ken Russell and produced by, I think Warner Brothers produced it. So here, I'm going to show the trailer right now. Let's watch it. For the weak at heart, no, the faint at heart, not weak at heart. I'm warning you, this is a little frightening. It's one of the most controversial films ever made, banned in some countries, still banned in some countries, and only shown in its entirety without being edited, I think once or twice in a theater. Here we go, folks. Enjoy.
He plies me with caresses, lustful, obscene. He enters my bed at night and takes from me that which is consecrated to my divine bridegroom, Jesus Christ.
And what form does this incubus take?
Talk!
Who is responsible for this evil possession?
But of course I can prove nothing. This Mother Superior may be little more than a hysterical nun.
But if it is a genuine case of possession by devils, and if Grandier himself was proved to be involved, then yes, I think it bears investigation, gentlemen.
You've been a magician.
If I'd commerce with devils, you face eternal damnation.
Conjecture is useless. We need a professional witch hunter. We must send for Father Barre. Hell will hold no surprises for you.
His Majesty's triumphed again.
How they pale beside the radiance of His Majesty.
I have been a man. I have loved women. I have enjoyed power.
I mean, how splashy of a film is that? Good luck finding a good print. I have one, but they're out there floating around, and I think it's being shown in its entirety on Shudder right now. I could be wrong about that. If you've never seen it and you like horror, good acting, good directing, it's amazing. And it's based on a true story. Fact. I mean, yes, the demons. Yes. Yeah. It really is that amazing. I'm not joking. It's beautifully filmed. Oliver Reed is primo. The imagery. I mean, in that trailer alone, the king and the close-up of the skull and the maggots falling out of its eyes. I mean, it really is a well-made movie. There's a scene early on where Father Grandier, the priest who's Oliver Reed, goes into a room where there are these plague doctors treating somebody, and it is outrageous. Yeah. It is hard to find. So, anybody out there that likes wacky films, that is definitely one to watch. I'm getting so itchy to watch it. I haven't seen it in a little while, and I'm like, I want to see it. Now, the other movie I'm dying to see, and I'm going to be honest, the only new movie I saw this year, I believe, was King Kong Godzilla, and I loved it. It was written for my 12-year-old inner child. And it was well made. I mean, really, for computer graphics, and believe me, I'm not a fan of modern computer graphics. It doesn't make me awe-inspired. the wonder isn't the same as it was in the old days when you didn't know how things worked. Or where you had to use actual suspension of disbelief. So modern computer imagery doesn't do it for me. But it was a well-made movie. The only new movie I'm interested to see, and honestly, I'm going to be honest, most pop culture things that I might have been interested in the past, like superhero films and even like the new Batman movie, my desire to see these has gone from this to like literally barely there. And things I actually used to kind of like, it doesn't fit my 2-year I'm gonna croak model. So, oh, it was cut? I'm curious. I want to see the new Tragedy of Macbeth by Joel Cohen as the director, starring Denzel Washington as Macbeth. Folks, go look up the trailer. The reviews are in. The Devil's Reign's another wild movie. Macbeth, what can I say? You've got the Coen brother guy doing his first film alone. And you have the Bard. Hold on, I'm going to yawn. Hoo, ha, he. Yeah, I mean, and then you have Denzel playing Macbeth. It's filmed it's black and white. And from what I can tell in the trailer, they show one of the witches. And the witches, it looks like it's 1 and her reflection is 3, which is kind of cool because Hecate, or Hecate, or however you want to pronounce Hecate from the Greek mythology, the witch, she's represented sometimes as 3 humans stuck together as one person, which is kind of cool. Wow, Dan says, I was a huge comic book nerd. I have zero interest to watch any of the comic book movies. I'm with you, brother. Marvel ruined it for me. It got to be too much. Watching superheroes beat up robots after a while got a little boring. I just could care less. I would rather read the comic book. Right? I like seeing the source material. I don't like seeing somebody else's interpretation all the time. Hey, what's up? We have some new people in here. Yeah, welcome. You're going to like this show. It gets wacky. We're going to get deep in a second. The philosophy's going to kick in a minute. Actually, I'm going to kick it in right now. So anywho, I'm excited to see the Tragedy of Macbeth. It opens Christmas Day, which is this coming Saturday. Now, I don't have any plans for Christmas Day unless it's surfing waves, which it might be little tiny waves, and it's kind of fun to go surfing Christmas morning. So, when Disney bought Marvel. Glenn, what's up, brother? Come on in. You're going to love this show. I was just saying, Glenn, who's a Rockaway resident, one of my favorite things to do is to surf on Christmas morning. If Santa brings waves, I'm in there. But I actually might go see Macbeth. I doubt it's going to be crowded. It's Shakespeare. It's black and white. It's the Coen brothers. These aren't blockbusters. This isn't Marvel Spider-Man stuff. Spider-Man's going to be sold out Christmas Day. And from what I gather, Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, that's Jewish Christmas. Chinese food in a movie is famous in New York City for being a Jewish Christmas. And I am not Christian nor Jewish, and I like doing that too. But I do like Christmas parties. So I'm having a Christmas thing here, family and some close friends. But yeah, I might go to the movies. So let's get into the subject. Tonight's subject, I entitled it, Creative Juice and Rotten Faith. And I really wanted to dig into a couple subjects that I thought were something we could all chew on over the holidays. It's the end of the year. Creative juice, meaning create a pool of creative energy. You'll notice if you watch my shows, Disney did buy everything. Chinese food in a movie. I like to define things. I like to talk about word definitions. Because I want to make sure when I'm talking about stuff with people, we're on the same page. And a lot of people have completely different definitions of words. Like God, for instance. Get somebody to define God. You'll see. Or spiritual, or spirit, or energy. Ooh, they have good energy. Or the energy, there's people have different mind, visual ways to describe words. So, when I mention creative juice, I'm meaning the pool of creative energy. Now, I work a lot around artist types, dancers, singers, musicians, actors, performers, writers, right? People that really do need to come up with things from scratch. That's to me what an artist is. They're literally coming up with the concepts. They're taking things and making anew, but mostly they're starting with some new concepts. A designer takes sometimes concepts and then applies them, but the artist is the one they're not being used necessarily for anything other than the concept itself. So where does creative juice come from? How does one become creative? If one is not feeling creative, how does one get it? People ask me all the time what my process is for anything. And I definitely have some tricks of the trade that I share. If you read my essays that I write for, the internets, I mention them. And I've been getting messages. I think I wrote an essay on some creative tricks some point last week. And people were messaging me about it, and they were sharing me their things. So let's chat. We have a group here of smart people. I want to hear. I'm going to tell you my way of dealing with creative stuff. Let's just say I have a show coming in 5 months or 4 months that I'm producing. And I need to come up with new material, or I need to write a new chapter in my book, whatever it may be. How do I stimulate myself? Where do I start? I'm going to give you some tricks right now. I don't care who you are, or what you do creatively. And I don't care if it's crocheting, making clay sculptures out of Play-Doh, coming up with recipes, whatever it is. You can get something out of this. And I also think, even if you don't think of yourself as the creative type, I'm going to give you some things that I really think will change your life. And I've mentioned this before, but honestly, I have a friend who's kind of a life coach of sorts, and one of the things that he teaches is what I'm going to share with you right now. And he charges a lot of money, and this is free. So listen up. Uh-oh, what happened to Zalthon? Oh, you just lost points. People are in here gambling points, if you notice. So I schedule brainstorming sessions. In the old days, it would be like once a week. It would be like next Tuesday from 10 a.m. till 11 a.m. And I put it in the calendar. Like, actually pretend like it's an appointment to meet myself. And that's the important key to this. It's not passive. It's aggressive. It's really serious. Ooh, okay, hold on. Peter, we're going to get to that. Constantly look at other art around. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Okay. Remind me to bring that up. Because I have some thoughts of that. Because sometimes I like to isolate and not see art, which is interesting. And sometimes I like to immerse myself in it. So I'm going to get to that. But the idea, and Peter's an artist. I mean, this guy whips up things from nowhere and puts it on canvas. He literally digs into his imagination of some wild imagery and makes it into something active on canvas or sculpture. He does sculpture too. So he definitely has a process. I think you really have to schedule it. It's not like, tomorrow I'm going to sit down and do this. No, really plan ahead. And for me now, my brainstorming sessions, they're scheduled daily. I do it every day. I treat me as an artist as a day job. I do, on a very serious level. I used to hang out with people that made me not want to do that because of their work ethic was so terrible. That's who you avoid. You want to hang out with people that have a good work ethic. And for me, my arts pay my bills. So why would I not treat it as if a day job I love? So I daily do these brainstorming sessions, and it entails, I like clipboards. Get a clipboard. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. Put stickers on it. Make it fun. Make it your clipboard. I have many clipboards. Buy paper. Buy a notebook. Some people like those journal books. I used to like them. I don't like them anymore. I like paper. Loose paper. The reason why I like loose paper is I use it to go through and scribble lots of junk. So here's my meeting with myself. I sit, pencil. I always have a pencil. I always have a marker, a Sharpie. So I have a pencil. Here's a really fat one. I have a pencil. Sharpie thing. I use the Sharpies to write big ideas, and I use the pencils to detail. Okay? I also use the pencils when I'm reading books to annotate the sides and mark it up. As I'm sitting there flying through ideas, and this is important, all ideas are good, even the crappy ones. You just let it loose. You write down all ideas, even the bad ones, because that bad one might trigger a better one, right? Now, the reason why I like paper is because after I go nuts and vomit out my brain on a piece of paper, I then transfer it to another piece where I refine it. And then I get the satisfaction of crumbling it up and throwing it away and moving on and cleaning out. That way I don't amass notebooks of garbage that I have to sort through later. Okay? Very important. You want to edit it while you're doing it a little bit, right? And that edit triggers it. Now, I'm going to read some comments here because I have a creative group here that has clearly something to say about this. Force yourself to constantly work, and even when you don't have any ideas. Yes! If you have I'll sit down and be like, I don't know what to write. So you know what I write? I don't know what to write. Right? That's where you start. Force. Get it out. Fake it till you make it. Just get it moving. Start doing something. Draw a picture or something. Allow yourself to fail. Yeah. Yes. If you throw enough crap on the wall, some of it's going to stick, right? Mistakes are part of the process. Mistakes, Peter's right on this. Mistakes is where the real stuff is. That's where the truth is. That's where the gems are. They're in the junk on the floor that everybody forgot about. I have an accountability call once a week. Yeah, see? Okay, here we go. Joel, big one here. Sometimes I like trying a different artistic format I've never tried before and am not really familiar with. Excellent. It's our creative pool is the same one used for anything we're going to do, right? So if you're using another outlet, it might open up a few things, right? It might open the door. Ooh, love that. That's a great one. Woo. Now, here's something interesting. I play rock and roll bass in a band. And when I write music for a band, let's say, I don't like necessarily writing it on the bass. I do sometimes. I like to write music and melodies on a piano and then move it over to the bass. Why? Because I write melodies on a piano I would never write on a bass, just the way the shape of the notes are. It's different. And so that's one way I think out of the box, even with music. I'll use instruments I'm not good at to write with to see where it does to my brain. This is fantastic. Tattoo shop. Yeah, I'm sure. Tattoo shops, you got to creatively problem solve all the time, right? Composition books. Yeah, okay. That's the problem with composition. I used to do that too. I used to buy the blank page ones with no lines. That way I can draw too if I have to. I have like a shelf filled with these books of notes from all through college, and I have like magic notes. Cool, but I'm more productive with my new method. Learn from everyone, even people you don't like. So if I'm criticizing something, and I don't mind criticizing things, people are taught not to criticize things anymore. And I don't do it in a mean manner. I just like, if I discriminate against something I don't like, I want people to know the details and explain it for learning purposes for myself and anybody else. And so I try to, if there's something I really despise, we've gone through this. I don't like Quentin Tarantino movies. I hate them. There's like one I like, and he didn't direct it. He wrote it, Dusk Till Dawn. The rest I really have problems with. I don't like the way the actors are directed. It doesn't mean there's a few things in it I might like, but as a whole note, not a fan. So if I'm going to critique it, I use it to learn from. If I don't like that, then what do I have to offer that might be better in a way of how I would direct myself or other people? So I learn from everything, even people I don't like. All ideas are good. I wrote that down. Don't try, do. You know, I have people go, yeah, I kind of want to try surfing. I'm like, well, if you're doing that, you're never going to do it. Do you want to learn how to surf? Yes or no? Yes. When you watch people surf, does it look fun? Yes, it's my dream to do it. Okay, then go do it. You don't have to try it. You will do it. If you want to do it, you'll do it. Here we go. Yeah, the loose sheets is great. The clipboards, you can have lots of clipboards. I buy paper. I bought a box this big of blank paper, and I've only 6 months ago, and I've gone through 2 fat ones. I go through a lot of paper. I mean, hold on, I'm going to show you something. Okay, are you ready? This giant file, that's evening hour. That's every episode's notes. I don't know how many pages that is. It is so thick, it's like thicker than a phone book. Look at that. That's evening hour live. Oh, stapler. Buy a stapler. After you get a collection of ideas, click. Yeah, Yoda, there is no try. Yes. So, also, here's the other one. Let's say you're trying to come up with something. Well, what are you trying to say? What's the point of your art? What are you trying to say? Just say it in plain language. Don't be flowery. Don't make it arty. Don't do anything. Just say it. I'm trying to be shocking, let's say. All right, well then be shocking. What would that entail? And then break it down, right? I always think, what am I trying to say here? What am I trying to do? All right, then just do it. What am I, bouncing around here? The pre-Disney Yoda. Yeah, say it in plain English. Don't use fluff. Only use fluff if you need it. That's why I hate clever art. I don't like the word clever. It's just you're adding stuff that usually doesn't need to be there. Natural clever, organically grown clever, I love. Now, let's talk about this. I wrote down stimulating environment. Use of ritual. So, Peter, I'm sure you have something to say about this. I do better with being creative if I'm in a stimulating environment. That could be sitting in the woods. It could be right here. That's what you see here is stimulating for me. This is why I designed it for that. I put images around me that remind me of things. And the ritual part, and this is where you're training your brain to have a new belief system. Because if you have a new belief system about how you're being creative, it's easier, fun, and it just works. So like for me, it would be, if I'm going to do a creative session, I don't even call it that. I don't have a word for it. I just do it. there's maybe a little bit of light music I'll play in the background, but it's got to be light because I like music so much. It's hard for me not to listen to the music in detail. I usually don't like what I call background music. Light some candles, burn some incense, make it a ritual. I have a morning ritual, I have an evening ritual. If I miss them, I feel like I'm missing something. I miss hanging out with myself. If I don't get to hang out with myself now, there's a problem. Because it really disrupts my day. I used to not be like that. Oh, well, there you go, Ruth. See, we got smart people in here that know what they're talking about. Yes, ritual is the secret because it's your training ground. A ritual is where you get to train yourself how you want to train yourself. This is why I like occult ritual. Really. It's how I want it to be, for me. If you're going to church for a ritual, Catholic, okay, when I was a little kid, there were moments of the Catholic ritual that stimulated me. Mostly the incense and the music. If they played old music, I hated the modern. We had a Catholic church I went to where they tried to country western it up a little bit. Bad. I still remember the Our Father. It was like, Our Father who art in heaven. It was like a cowboy gallop. And I remember even as a little kid being like, huh? I liked the old school organ stuff. And I liked the incense and, the stained glass. And to me, that was stimulating. The message, however, I did not find stimulating. So the idea that you can create a ritual used to stimulate you however the hell you want. Wow. When I realized I could do that as a little kid, does smoking weed ever put you in an artistic, creative mindset? Also, I've never been more engaged in a live stream. This is awesome. Well, that's flattering. Thank you. As for cannabis, stimulating? Absolutely. It really is kind of a creative stimulator. Yeah, a lot of people use it. A little bit of cannabis. It's relaxing. It opens the alpha state of the brain. It makes your a little bit of a flow. It's not like booze. To me, booze shuts off the creative. It really does. I'm not a booze guy. Buddy Christ? What is that? So funny you say ritual. Okay, so, that is what I wanted to talk about today, and I'm so glad that we're in here. I want to keep moving, because, dude, these shows go by, an hour is going to go by like that. It's funny that I put on this episode. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, drugs for creativity. It can be used as a little bit of a little catalyst to get things moving, but if you get used to that, that's terrible. That's then it becomes the only way you can be creative. It's like if you get used to playing music high as a kite. Well, then you got to get high to play music. To me, that's terrible. It's the same with magic. I can't even imagine. When I'm doing magic shows, especially when I'm doing like the mind reading stuff, and I have to be paying attention to so many things at once. I need to be in the zone of a predator, an animal that's on the hunt. That's where my performing brain is. So yeah, that's not good. This is funny. Yeah, I think it is a problem. Yeah, but it can be used, obviously, to stimulate some sort of something, Yeah, exactly. Booze is like, it loosens it and then it shuts it off. Booze, to me, is one of the... I'd like to do some research on literally what it does in the brain. Because I know people that have 2 drinks. 2. And when they turn to look at you, you know it's not the same person. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. And that terrifies me. When I see that, when I see people that are like, hey, what's up, man? And then they have a few drinks and they're not really drunk at all. And they're just like in a different, not for me. I don't see that with the cannabis stuff. I don't. People get paranoid, I hear, but I don't. It's not the same. So I wanted to talk. I wrote in the title "Rotten Faith," and it's funny because the church thing is about faith. That's what people are there for. And I wanted to talk about it. It's something I encounter quite frequently. It's a word that I want to define. But before we get to why I said rotten faith, here's the dictionary definition. Faith. The first definition. Complete trust or confidence in someone or something. To trust something completely. I trust it. Okay, I'm going to go back to these definitions in a second. The second definition, strong belief in God or in the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual apprehensions rather than proof. Okay, I think it's funny they put strong belief in God. I always get mad when I see that because it's monotheistic brain speaking. Because if you went back in time a few thousand years ago, the definition would say, strong beliefs in gods. There'd be an S. And I do think there's a difference between monoatheism and polyatheism, which I did an episode on. Yeah, belief without evidence is what I would say on that one, right? Believing in something without evidence, which is what? I have a problem with that. Now, I also have a problem with the first definition, complete trust or confidence in someone or something. So before I go into faith as a virtue, which I also have a problem with, I wanted to talk about that. So you will hear religious people say, hey man, you're an atheist, but you still have faith. You have faith that when you come home, your significant other will be there. Right? That's faith. You have faith that when you leave the house, a bus isn't going to hit you when you step out in the street. Well, okay, bad analogies. If you're leaving home, you don't have to have faith that your significant other's going to be there. Well, it's not faith, it's statistics and probability. If every day I've been coming home for the last 10 years and the spouse is always there, I would say using my data processor chemical computer, most likely they're going to be there. If it was like every day someone's wife was getting knocked off, then yeah, when I left home, I would be a little nervous if they were going to be home when I got home, right? So I would never use the word, I have faith they're going to be there. It would, hope is a little better maybe, right? I don't know. It's just a weird definition. I don't see why that's there. And, you know, I was always told as a kid, faith is a virtue, right? If somebody says something about their character, they go, oh, he's a man of faith. He believes in God. You can see his conviction. He wears it on his sleeve, or it's in his eyes. You can see it. I was once, and this is where it gets interesting. I was once at a family event, and believe me, my family does not bring up God around me much. And usually if it comes up, I don't say anything. I mean, I'm an atheist. I really am. I even as a little kid, I had atheistic thoughts pretty early on. And so somebody brought up God, and somebody brought up Adam and Eve, and somebody in my family mentioned that it was not a real story. It was an allegory to something else, or it's not real. It's not a history story. And they were like, oh, I never thought of that. And I was shocked that they said that. What do you mean you never thought of that? You actually think there was like the first garden? And they're like, well, maybe. And I was like, oh, wow. So at any rate, one of my other relatives said, well, it's just your faith. And this is then where my Socrates street epistemology brain kicked in. I was like, what do you mean by that? And they're like, well, it's just your faith. And I was like, I really want to know the answer to this. Like, for me, just please answer these questions, because it's not that hard. And I'm not being malicious. I'm not being mean. I'm just curious. What do you mean by that? It's just your faith. Do you mean you were raised with a certain mythology by a group of people that you love? Therefore, to honor them, you are going to, A, pretend you believe in that mythology, or B, you actually do believe it. Like, it's the truth now. Like, I don't have to believe it anymore. It's fact, right? Which is it? Or is it both? Or I'm very curious of what you mean by it's just your faith. They couldn't answer. They got a little irritated. That's a red flag. That means they never thought about it. They've been just running with it for no reason. That's fine. I just find it fascinating. Oh, here we go. Ruth getting kicked out of Jewish Sunday school. I'll repeat myself and say I got kicked out of Jewish Sunday school at age 4. Jonah and the Whale Story is a fable. Right. Well, it's funny that Jewish people that I know that are, quote, atheists will tell me that, yeah, they don't believe in that as the truth, but they think Moses was a real guy, like an actual historic character, and that the Exodus story probably happened as history. And what people don't realize is the history in the Old Testament is just as fairy tale as the snake in the garden and the whale. There are hairs of things based on some history, but the majority of it, even the, quote, history, is pure fabrication fairy tales passed down. So I really found it fascinating that my family, when I said, well, what do you mean it's just your faith? They literally didn't even understand what I meant by that. And then when I confronted them with the details, is it a myth? It's just your faith? Meaning, will you be willing to admit that if you're born in India, you'd be a Hindu, and that would be okay? Yes? All right. So it just to me is a can of worms. All right, so here. I looked up today for fun YouTube on faith as a virtue, and I was looking for Christian apologetics on faith. And I found a lot of, is anybody familiar with street epistemology? It's like, it's the technique, instead of debating a religious guy, just ask them questions. Trust me, anybody in here watching right now that leans to the atheist side of things, if they're around a religious person, first of all, there's no point in debating them. Because to get them to change a belief system, you can present facts. It ain't going to change a belief system. A belief system is a hardwired thing now. Once somebody believes something for real. So I think the goal is for an atheist or somebody, it's like, well, maybe they don't believe it for real. And by saying certain things, oh, well, the pyramids were built by not slaves. They were built by paid workers. That's a fact. They kind of know this now from modern archaeology. So it was a coveted, it was a cool gig. It wasn't like the Disney version of the guy with the bullwhip and the Jewish guys building the pyramids. That's not what it was. Well, okay. So what you said, Peter, is really interesting. They don't like me questioning their blind allegiance to faith and tradition because they might come to realize they may have been duped this whole time. So here's the question I would ask them. If you found out what you believed wasn't true, do you think it's still okay to just keep rolling with it? Basic, simple question. Yeah, you can't change their mind. So here's what street epistemology is. It's basically just keep asking them questions. And why do you believe this? So if somebody says, I have faith in Jesus Christ, and why do you believe that? Well, I have a feeling. So why do you believe your feelings are right? Well, I read the Bible and my feelings. So why do you believe the Bible is right? Well, the Bible says it's correct. Okay. Well, I have other books that also say they're correct. Why do you believe this version? If you keep doing that, you will see what happens. They will see what happens. Eventually, they'll get to the word, well, you just got to have faith in it at this point. It does get down to that. So my question is, break it down as bare bones as possible. And I remember teaching my kids this. Is it okay to believe in something in which there is no evidence of such? Is that a good way to get to the truth of the matter? In anything. So what a Christian apologetic would say is, well, that only works if something's really true. Therefore, the Jesus story really is true. That's why this works. And why do you believe it to be true? It starts to get into circle. So I found a hipster priest, and I mean hipster priest, Catholic priest, collar, kind of like modelly looking guy. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow, and he's totally like, I'm the cool priest, and I'm going to break it down for you. And he's got a YouTube channel. And he said, the only reason to believe something is if it's true. And why is faith a virtue? If it's the truth, then it doesn't need to be, is what he said. He's like, look, 2 + 2 is 4. We all know that. You don't need to convince me of that. I don't have to believe in a concept to get that if I have 2 pennies and 2 pennies, now I have 4 pennies. That was his analogy. I mean, that's what he was getting at. Like, if something's true, where's the faith? I don't have to have faith that 4 is what happens when you put 2 pennies and 2 pennies together. And then he goes, the faith. All right, so first of all, the reason why 2 + 2 is 4 is just because of words that we use. If I have 2 pennies and 2 pennies and I put them together, it's just pennies that we gave the names 1, 2, 3, and 4. Like, they're words. It's kind of weird if you think of it that way. Ooh, what's Fleabag? What, like the priest and what is that? I don't know that. What's Fleabag? Oh yeah, the hipster. Well, I mean, dude, they got an uphill battle. I get it. I actually feel bad for them because, you know, to get people attracted to that, especially with their record, woo! They've got a record worse than everybody combined. So imagine having to sell Catholicism to a modern crowd. Not easy. So he says there are times where it's not convenient to believe in the God stuff. You know, like, it just, your brain is telling you this is not needed here. And so he goes, faith is the action to surrender to the truth that this God thing is real. Wow. What a philosophical juggle he's doing there. I was like, what? Wait, what? Huh? So he's saying there are times where you want to do something bad, or you want to slide, or you just don't care about the religious stuff. So therefore, faith is the action that you have to surrender to the fact that that God thing is a real story. But then I'll say, how do you know it's a real story? I go as this goes to the circle. Faith is submitting your intellect and will to God. That's how the priests define faith. The word Islam means submission to God. Notice the word submission. Submit. I'm not submitting to any of these things. This is terrible. These are terrible virtues to teach a child. Terrible. Okay, but when you say, okay, here, good one. Is it good for someone to believe in something? All right, so, great question. What do you mean by believe? Somebody says, what do I believe in? I can't just start answering that. I have to first define what they mean by believe in. Do I believe I'm holding a cup right now? Well, I don't have to believe it. All I know is what my senses are telling me now. I could be in a matrix. It could be. It's possible. But let's just say that the only thing I have right now is this. And I'm going to assume I'm not in a matrix. So it's not a belief. Um, do I believe that I have 2 kids? I have 2 kids. Do I believe um I don't even know what that means, believe. Know is a better word. Do I know? Well, there's certain things I know about and there's certain things I don't know about. I don't know why I don't like that word. Well, the whole thing about submitting and your intellect and will to God kind of is the secret to the puzzle of how faith works. Why it's addicting like a drug. Okay, look, Alcoholics Anonymous uses the notions, and I'm going to break this down. Admit you're powerless over alcohol is the first one. The second one is, admit that something can help you. And then 3 is let that thing help you, the higher power help you. The whole concept of a higher power works on a psychological level because it takes the burden off of you. So even if you take this burden off of you and put it on Mickey Mouse, that's good. That's okay. That works too. Doesn't matter if it's a real God or a fake God. It's the idea of putting it here so you don't have to deal with it. A symbolic way. So by submitting and giving up and rolling on your back and saying, I'm all yours, it is a freeing feeling that will open up your creative mind. And it'll relax you. It'll make you produce chemicals that are calming. I get why it works. I get it. I get the trick of it all. It's a brain trick of sorts, and it works. It also has some side effects. If you put faith into something that's not real, let's say a Jewish carpenter who floats around in the sky. Let's just say you put your faith there as that person in the sky or in another realm is watching over me, and you actually take it to the point of real seriousness where you believe it to be so true, you're willing to die for that. It's a little weird. It seems like a cocktail of problems. So when people ask me, well, what do you believe in? My answer would be, what is my purpose? I believe that I am supposed to be using my best qualities that I have, that I was lucky enough to be born with and lucky enough to notice and develop, to use them for what I'm good at using them for, which is to create moments of wonder. That's what I do. If somebody said that's what you're put on earth for, I'd say, well, I wasn't put here. I am here, and I don't really care how I got here. Whether God created me, 1,000 gods created me, or it was random, that doesn't have anything to do with me and my purpose. I know I'm good at creating wonder. I know that those moments of wonder seem to make people experience joy, and it stimulates them in a manner that opens up the rest of the day. That's it. That's it. Simple. A magic trick can make you go, and then the rest of the day have this thing where maybe you'll notice a few more things. Doug Henning, the magician from the 70s and early 80s, said his magic is to remind people of real magic. And I would agree. That's what I think I'm here for. Yes. This is exactly what Ruth said. Italian digestive bitters, non-alcoholic. San bitter. Actually, tomorrow I'm going to go buy another case of them. It's really bitter and strong and delicious. Focus. Yeah, and this glass is outrageously awesome. It's really heavy. So, think about this. Think about faith. Ask friends. If you know any friends that are the faithful type, if they're willing to talk about it, it's a fascinating delve. I really like. Oh wow! Imagine Christianity was a booty call gone wrong, and he faked his own death. I actually don't even think Jesus was a real guy. I lean to the mythicist category. Here, look at this book. You want to see a thick book on it? Highly recommend this. It is meaty. Right here. On the history of Jesus, Richard Carrier. Dr. Richard Carrier, Columbia University student in history, thesis on the historicity of Jesus. There's a really good book on the historicity of Moses too, which I haven't read, but I've looked through it and I gotta read it. Most historians will say Moses wasn't a real guy. Most historians will say Jesus was. And that's kind of what this book goes into. It's like, why? Why does everybody just go for that right away? Like, because there's some weird things in there. I did a whole show on it. If you go look, I did a show on Moses and I did a show on Jesus. Yeah, you can put it down. I like a big old ice cube in these things to water it down. Not only is there little evidence he existed, the evidence they do have points to the fact that he originally was a celestial deity that somebody plopped into a historical context. I think it's called a ephemerized god. Well, the Matrix thing, I mean, you'll see, what's the Christian apologetics guy? Cy Brigantate? He's a really crazy name. It's like Cy Brigantate. When you debate him, atheist Christian, he's basically, how do you know what you know? That's where he starts. Well, my senses. How do you know that they're real? And can you trust them? I can't. We all could be in a vat, and this isn't real. This is a computerized sensation. I can't do that. Maybe it's true. If that's true, then this reality that I'm experiencing is a Matrix reality, and that's all I know. Unless someone unplugs the thing and I wake up in the jar, I won't know that. So I'm just going to roll with what I know, and that is I have 5 senses. They all seem to be working okay, right? I'm not in jail for randomly stabbing strangers on the street because I thought they were monsters, right? Those guys, clearly their reality's twisted and they get taken out. This is all I have. So this is what I'm rolling with. Are we in a Matrix? Maybe. But I'm going to roll with we're not. I mean, we could be. Ooh, what's this? Zealot by Asian. Huh. I don't know what that means. Zealot by Asian. Him asking that doesn't prove his story. Wait, what's this? Oh, wait. Hold on, this is crazy. What? Faulty. Wait. Who's him and who's asking who? Him asking. Cy 10 Brigantate asking the Christian, how does he know what he knows? Yes, you're right. It doesn't. Well, folks, that's why I'm interested in the historicity of Jesus, because if he's not real, look at how much of our world has been shaped by it. And I'm not just talking the fact that we use the dating system based on his birthday. I'm talking about the moral teachings. This is what Nietzsche got into, is how Christian culture permeated our DNA. If he's not real, that means a hoax literally changed our biology of how we think. Think about that. That is serious. It's It's just bothered me seeing Jesus hungry with his ribs sticking out, and instead of helping him, they sacrificed him. Well, that's what the story says. Again, if you read Nietzsche, he's basically like, they're setting it up. It's slave morality. It's the slave now is the king, is the concept. Reza Aslan wrote Zealot. Right. I saw him debated on this one once. I got to go look it up again. I mean, yeah. I don't like how easy it is to become one with some of the most common religions in the world, such as Islam and Islam. How do you feel? What does that mean, become one? Map that out. I don't like how easy it is to become one with some of the most common religions. What do you mean by that? Yeah, that's what I want to know. Hinduism predates all of these. That is the really old one. Islam's brand spankety new. And, I mean, honestly, one of the reasons why Islam spread so fast is how easy it is to become a Muslim compared to Judaism and Christianity. The concepts are easier. It's 5 pillars. That's it. You do them, you're done. You don't need to go through a special ceremony. You don't need to learn another language. You follow the 5 pillars and you're in. It's spread fast. That's one of the reasons why, I believe. Yeah, they don't like calling it a slave religion. They don't like slave morality. They don't like it being referred to as that, which, I mean, people don't like to think of it that way, but it is that. And it's also the grass is greener on the other side, meaning if your life sucks now, don't worry. That's not good. That I don't like. I suppose, I don't know. It's just I never really liked the moral teachings in the Bible. I thought, all of the moral things, be nice to your neighbors and stuff like that, that has nothing to do with Christianity. I mean, that's Code of Hammurabi stuff. Yeah, I mean, being humble because there's a carrot dangling or you're going to be punished. It's just so silly. It's like one of the worst. It's, to me, one of the worst things to teach a child. It really is. I can't. It's funny when I ask people that are Jewish to explain in detail what Judaism means. It's hard because Judaism to me is one of the. It grew. Another subject you won't see is where Judaism came from. It's hard to find. A lot of the Jewish rabbi guys don't like to discuss that Judaism was polytheistic. And, some of the early notions of Judaism weren't so nice. But, oh yeah, it's very easy to become Islam. Yeah, it's just very fascinating. Let me check one thing here. I want to make sure I got this before we... Oh, yeah. So, I think when people say that they see a man of faith doing his thing, I think they're confusing a couple things. Like, if I see somebody doing something that they clearly are supposed to be doing, they're in their element, they're happy, and they're doing well, I can go, wow, that guy's got convictions, he's following them, and it seems to be working. To me, I think when people say, well, he's a man of faith, that's what they're implying. But is it real or not? I don't know, Here's something. So I was watching some debate, not a debate. I watched a man questioning religious people about their belief and why they believe it to be true. And I saw a few religious people that had really kind of thoughtful ways that they justified their beliefs, but when they literally were asked about Jesus and some of the details, their body language changed. They got like a little more exaggerated, and I found it very interesting that their body language changed. Their speech cadence changed. Their body language demeanor changed. And I was like, wow, look at that. They're literally chemically now different, and they're using different parts of their brain now to communicate because they went into the actual fantasy land part of their belief system that's based in faith. Like, there's no evidence, and they're just running with it. And I thought it was funny how they got more exaggerated with their body motions. And I don't know exactly why, but it means something. It doesn't mean nothing. It does mean something. That's why when body language experts are watching people lie, it means something. And it's their job to figure out which, like how I talk with my hands, the body language guy has to go, is that just a habit or does it mean something, right? And so they always say it's clusters. If you do something weird, like if I did this with my hat in clusters like a bunch of times, that's the flag of, hey, something's going on. So when I see someone speaking about, oh yeah, this is funny. As soon as Moses went away from a minute, they were worshiping a golden calf, old habits. Well, what people don't know is when Moses came back and saw them worshiping the golden calf, it says that he put to death 3,000 Jewish people that day. Look it up. No one taught us that in school. It's in there. It's crazy. Religion must be a neurological condition. Seems there's... Okay. So I do believe that religion is a neurological thing. It's two things. It's got two parts. It's got the spiritual part, which is your part of your brain that's spatially aware. And then it has the I'm in a group part. I have a group think with a group of people. We share similar values, and we share one thing with the group that is tied to our spatial awareness part of our brain, the spiritual part. That part of the brain, the religious part, is actually the early cortex of the mammal, and that's also the same part of the brain where gang mentality and racism lives. Yeah, because it's group mentality. That's the religion brain. Now add into that the fantasy part, the spiritual part, and now you have a weird cocktail. And there's religion and God. Boom! What a show, folks. God, I've been talking a mile a minute. If you're watching this and you're new, go read the chat. The chat's great. My God. Yeah, exactly. Why does it say in the Old Testament, in the first commandment, thou shalt not have other gods before me? Why? Wouldn't it say, all gods are fake, I'm the real one? That's a way better way to phrase it. It doesn't. Why? Because there were other gods. I'm done. I've been talking so fast. Blind faith gene. Well, I mean, that is a real thing. I mean, I think blind faith gene, I don't know if it's a gene, but it's an addiction to the feeling of blind faith. So maybe they get a more dopamine blast out of using that brain trick of buying into something not real and just running with it. Right? Maybe that's what it is. Wow. A lot to think about. It's a never-ending thought. It really is. It's fascinating. And I do think about it a lot, and I ask people about it a lot, and if they're willing to talk about it, I love talking about it. Ruth, thank you. It's a great show because I have cool people in here. So there are other gods? Yep, I guess there are according to the Old Testament. Baal was one of them. I am on every Monday for sure, and occasionally a Wednesday and a Friday. but I've been very busy. As the winter gets colder, I probably will be doing more. Yeah, make sure you hit notify, subscribe, tell your friends. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, it's going to get nuts. I'm going to do a huge giveaway, and I do give away prizes on here quite a bit. Damascus, or I don't have my glasses. DeMarcus Cousins. Check out the prizes you can win underneath with the chat points. Yeah, I love the religion stuff. I really do. What else, folks? I'm not on this Wednesday. And Friday is Christmas Eve, and I'm certainly not on. I'm hanging. Yeah, folks, have an awesome holiday. If you celebrate or not, enjoy. If you don't celebrate, enjoy the quiet. If I didn't celebrate, I would love to just run around the city and see how empty it is on Christmas morning, right? It's great. Yeah, thank you, everybody. This is a really fun group. I'm really thankful for having an audience here every week when I jump on. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't live. I would hate taping these. It's no fun for me. I like live. It's way better. And I'm sure you have more fun because it's live, because we really are. This is a real chat. It's not a sort of chat. All right, folks. Well, I will see you most likely next Monday. There is a small chance I might road trip. Small chance. Other than that, I'll see you next week. This is Evening Hour Live. It really is live. Tell your friends, tell your family, hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you like to donate, go ahead and donate. If not, don't care. I have some very generous watchers, and I get it. We're all broke now. We're going into another weird thing where people are broke. Oh yeah, the solstice is tomorrow. Get out the gongs. I always ring gongs. I love gongs. I should do a show on just gongs. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Everybody that's in here. My mom is in here too watching. Love you, Mama. I'll see you this week. Folks, you are a great group, and I respect you very much. Party on. I'm going to take us with the outro, and I'm dying to go watch The Devils again, and I will give you a review of Macbeth if I see it. Where's my outro trailer? Party on, Wayne. Have a great